With tonight's homework, we are continuing on our journey of fractions, and we are subtracting, and our denominators are unlike. So students, we talked today about 3 different methods. A consensus was that they actually preferred to use this one method. That's the one I'm going to use to show. If they did not prefer this method, they may use either of the other 2 methods. They all pretty much use the T-chart, which is where we find our common denominator. So we have 2 denominators of 2 and 3 here. So I'll pull this out at least 5 places just to have a starting point. And I can stop at 6 because 2 and 3 have 6 in common. So what they're going to do is they're going to set it up. Some students know to do it mentally. Some students still need to use this where they set up the fraction and then they are multiplying it times the fraction that shows. To make the common denominator of 6, we have to multiply 3 times 2, and what we do to the denominator, we do to the numerator. To get 2 to 6, we have to multiply it by 3, and again, what we do to the denominator, we do to the numerator. So this will now turn into 3 6 minus 2 6, and that gives us 1/6. This one would be very similar. I want to make sure that I'm giving a variety. So let me show using this fraction. Here we have the 1, and the method that a lot of the students liked was that we would subtract out the whole numbers. So here I have 1 plus 2/5, that makes 1 2/5, minus, and here I don't have another whole number, so I'm going to subtract that fraction. So then again, we find the common denominator. Here we have 5 and 8. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, with 8, 16, 24, 32, and then 40. And I know with my 5s, I will also be getting to 40 because 5 times 8 is 40. So I'm not going to write all of it out, but I know that 5 times 8 is 40. So my 1 stays the same. Then I'm going to change my 2/5. I know I have to multiply it times 8 to get my common denominator. So I do the same to the numerator. My 3/8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. Again, what I do to the denominator, do to the numerator. So I have 16 40ths minus 15 40ths. So I'm going to continue to have my 1 whole, and then 16 minus 15 leaves me with 1/40th. 1 and 1/40th. Now let me show you with a greater number over here. The one that they liked was we take our 2 whole numbers. 5 minus 2 equals 3. So I'm going to have my 3 plus the fraction at the beginning minus the fraction at the end. Because I've already accounted for the 2. 5 minus 2 is 3. But I still have this fraction, and I'm still subtracting because I haven't subtracted all of it 2/3. So 7 and 3, I'm going to do it with my mental math, not using my T-chart here because some students are at that point. And we know that 7 times 3 is 21, and that's probably our best fraction that we're going to be using. So we'll do 3/3 and 7/7. So now I have 3 plus 18 21st minus 14 21st, and that equals 21st, not 24th. Sorry. 18 minus 14 is 4/21. Now, another method that we did show was taking our whole number, just the 2, and subtracting this whole fraction. So if I have 2 minus 1 1/5, then I have 4/5 left over from that, but I still have to add back my 1/3 from the beginning fraction. So 2 minus 1 1/5 is 4/5, and I'm adding back the 1/3. So 5 and 3, we actually did a few times in class. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 5, 10, 15. If they're doing their T-chart, they should know that the fraction with fifths needs to be multiplied by 3, and the fraction with thirds needs to be multiplied by 5. So 4/5 times 3/3 plus 1/3 times 5/5, and that gives us 12/15 plus 5/15, 5, 6, 17 15ths. It's improper, so we will make it proper. So these were the fraction subtraction sentences. Then we also have some word problems. The students should be able to work this one out. Let me double check. I think they did have a homework problem similar. Actually, they did not, so this works out better. Let's go to the one that we actually can look at. We had a couple of the problems that are going to be on the homework where they have to find out which of the numbers is going to be the number we're starting with and what number we're subtracting. In this case, we had she started with 1 1/4 liters, then she drinks 1/3 of a liter, and then how much is left over. So I know if she drinks it, it's going away. So that means she's starting with 1 1/4, and she's subtracting the 1/3 that she drank. So how do we find that common denominator? They can T-chart. If they already know mentally, some know mentally that 12 is going to be our common denominator. So we can do it one of two ways. First, I can subtract out the 1/3. If 1 minus 1/3, it gives me 2/3, and I'm adding back that 1/4 from the first. That is going to give me 8/12 plus 3/12, which is 11/12, because 2 times 4 is 8, and 1 times 3 is 3. Now, if we do it the other way, where we take out the 1 plus 1/4 minus 1/3, that's going to give me 1 plus 1/4 times 3/3 minus 1/3 times 4/4. 1 plus 3/12 minus 4/12. Now here the students are going to have to realize that this is probably not the best method, because now I'm going to have to convert my 1 whole into 12/12 to be able to subtract that 4. So now I have 15/12 minus 4/12, which gives me 11/12. That's why I think we all pretty much preferred this, where we subtract the fraction out of the whole number, because it makes it not as many steps. This one was subtracting the fraction from the whole. So it's where we were finding some whole numbers and then making that subtraction. So let's try it where we're doing kind of a little bit. This one, it says Carl used 3.5 kilograms of sand to make a large hourglass. To make a smaller hourglass, he only used 1 3/7 kilograms of sand. How much more sand did it take to make the large hourglass than the smaller one? This language tells us that we're going to start with the large and subtract the small. So 3.5 minus 1 3/7. We can go ahead and subtract 3 minus 1. That gives us 2. I have my half, and then I have my 3/7. So we can draw our T-chart. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, and I already know a 7, we are going to have to take it out to 14. So we're going to have 2 plus 1/2 times 7/7 minus 3/7 times 2/2. So we have 2 plus 7/14 minus 6/14, which equals 2 1/14 kilograms. I hope this is helpful. A lot of the denominators, the students started seeing the patterns. A couple did start doing, it's kind of a modification of the butterfly method, where they were multiplying across and then multiplying the denominator. They just need to remember, if they're doing that, that sometimes that denominator is larger and we are simplifying, trying to make it as small of a fraction as we can. Thank you.